12 economics. Okay, so far we have completed chapter 1. It was an introduction of what do you mean by simple economy, then what are the centrally important problems that we face. Then we have discussed about the centrally planned economy and the market economy. Now what is the difference between centrally planned economy and market economy? Centrally planned economy means the main decisions are taken by the government. The government has itself as it poses itself as to be the main person to decide anything and everything about that particular society or that particular products and services, goods and services. That is what is called as centrally planned economy. Talking about market economy, market here does not mean the place, okay, where we mean. It means the system where the buyers and sellers are able to meet each other, not directly, but they are able to communicate and as well decide about the production, the prices, the products and services and everything. Right, and what we discussed as the important thing about economics here, we discussed what are the central problems. It is about the allocation of resources and the proper distribution of goods and services. Okay, how are we going to allocate the resources for production, and once the production is over, you get the final products, right? How do you distribute it? Proper distribution of goods and services. For example, if you have imported certain things, if you have imported medicines from another country, okay, it should not go to one particular state. It should be equally divided. Okay, out of the various states that we have, one state does not have the problem of that particular disease, means there is no point in giving so many medicines to them. We decrease the level of medicine, amount of medicine, number of medicines we send to that particular state. So based on the need, we need to decide about the distribution. Clear? That is what is important about the central problems of economy. Finally, we have discussed about normative economics and positive economics. These two we saw that are interrelated. They cannot work without one another. Like what? One deals with the different mechanisms. One deals with what are the various mechanisms related with that particular problem. Okay, how to sort it out? That deals with one particular economics, that is actually the positive economics. When you talk about the normative economics, it decides and it evaluates actually the pros and cons of each mechanism. Okay, that is why we say that positive economic analysis as well as normative economic analysis both are required. Clear? Then we discussed in brief what is meant by microeconomics and macroeconomics. This year in class 12, you are going to deal with microeconomics as well as macroeconomics. We have started with microeconomics. Okay, those are two broad classifications of economics actually. Okay, both are related. Microeconomics means what? Focuses on an individual. Okay, at a narrower concept. Whereas when you talk about macroeconomics, it is everything to be in the large scale. Aggregate, total output, total employment opportunities created. Okay, total utilization, the entire gross national product, all of this will fall in the macroeconomics. Clear? This is what we have discussed in chapter 1, which is called as introduction. Chapter 2, we are moving into chapter 2, which is called the theory of consumer behavior. Okay? Chapter 2 is theory of consumer behavior. Okay, yesterday we discussed the difference between consumer and customer. Right? Who is a customer? A customer is a person who procures it, who buys the product. Consumer is a person who actually intakes it or who actually uses that. Okay, when I gift a mobile phone for buy it. Okay, but do I use it? No, my mother uses it. So she is the consumer. Your parents, they buy books for you. Okay, they are the customers, but do they use those books? Do they read those? No, you are reading it, you are using it. So you are called the consumers. That is the difference between customer and consumer. What are we going to deal in this chapter? We are going to deal various concepts about the consumer behavior. How the consumer's behavior affects the demand of a product. How it changes the market's position. How it affects the economics also we are going to study in this chapter. So, consumer means who? The person who actually intakes or who utilizes the end product is called as a consumer. Okay, this chapter we are going to deal with the theory of consumer behavior, that is how or what is actually the behavior of an individual customer, individual consumer, of one individual consumer. How is it going to affect or how is it going to change? What is the demand for the product? How it determines the price and everything we are going to study in this particular chapter. Now, whatever income I have, with that, I would want to buy different things. You remember need and want? In the last class we have discussed. Need means what? The basic necessities that we need, and want is the extra things without which also we can continue living. Right, I am going to a market. Okay, I am taking rupees. Okay, 1000. I am taking rupees 1000 for what? For buying some things from the departmental store. Okay, so what am I going to buy? I am first buying provisions. What are those provisions means? The basic necessities like rice, pulses, lentils, groceries, everything provisions, and I have spent around 500 rupees for that. The maximum amount 500 rupees I have spent. And next I am going to buy some, what to say? We'll say some veggies, that is the groceries, okay? Vegetables and fruits. I have bought for around 200 rupees. So already I have spent 700 rupees. Still I have 300 rupees. So what I want now, the season is not good, so I want to buy a health drink. Okay, I am going for my health drink which is not inside the provisions. Okay, and for health drink I am spending 250 rupees. So for what I have bought 700, 950 rupees I have spent. Now remind me what I have. I have rupees 50 with me. Okay, that is 1000 rupees I brought for my shopping. In that 950 I have spent. 50 rupees is there. What am I going to buy with this 50? I have two options. Okay, I can buy a book. Okay, or I can buy medicines. It's my option whether to buy this or that. Talking about this, medicines I require immediately because someone in my home is not feeling well or even I need it. Okay, there are no basic medicines even like Band-Aid I don't have. I need to buy Dettol and all those things. So that comes here. Whereas book, that is also a book that I am waiting to read for a long time. Which can wait? Okay, which can wait? The book can wait. So my choice goes to medicines. My choice goes to medicines. But what happens? Will everybody think like this? No. At one case, this book is very, very important for me because I have to prepare for some examination and this book I need. So what do? I put medicines underway and I will go for the book. So the choice is there, right? Which to choose? Whether I have to choose that or this. Even in here I may get confusions. Right? Whether I should go for health drink or whether I should go for some gifts that I have to give out for my friends or for my family members. Should I go for this or that? Should I buy vegetables or should I just use that money to buy some non-vegetarian food? So that is called as problem of choice. Okay, what is that? What money we have and how I am going to spend it differs. With each and every person it differs. And who has the right to decide it? Only the consumer has the right to decide how I am going to use my income or my resources, financial resources, to buy things that I need. Okay, at different point of time I need different things. Next time when I go for shopping, I will not need the health drink because I already have it. So next time my choice differs. So what it is called in economics, it is called as the problem of choice. Okay, it is called the problem of choice. And who has the right to choose it? The consumers, they have the right to choose it. And what is it called? The likes of the consumer are called preferences. That is, we say, right, I prefer medicines to book. I need medicines immediately, so I prefer. There is a very famous sentence in English that you would have studied. I prefer coffee to tea, or I prefer tea to coffee. Right? What is it? What is your preference? What do you like more? That is called as preferences. And what is it based on? Your likes or wonders? Your preferences. Okay? And on what basis it stands? It is like your affordability. How much you are going to afford? Okay? I prefer to buy air conditioner instead of fan means, am I able to afford it? My income will suffice for a fan or for an air conditioner. I have to decide that. Then what else it differs? Depends on the price of the goods. Okay, even if I'm going to buy fan, which fan am I going to buy? The prices. And then it depends on the income of the consumer. It again comes in affordability. Okay, whether I'll be able to manage, even if I'm going to buy a fan, whether I'll be able to manage this month's other cost with the income that I have. Okay, so your likes are called as preferences, and your preferences are set on the basis of the affordability, whether you are able to afford to buy the particular good or service, and then what are the prices of goods, and then it depends upon the income of the consumer. Consumer இருக்கிற income அவரால் வாங்க முடியுமாங்கிற ஒரு விஷயம், and then அந்த goods and services ஓட price, இதை வச்சு தான் நம்ம வந்து preferences choose பண்ணோம். For example, when you talk about services, I have a skin allergy. Okay, I have a severe skin allergy. So what do I choose? I wish to refer a doctor. I wish to consult a doctor. Now I can go to a general doctor, or I can go to a skin specialist who is called a dermatologist. Okay, so my preference is going for a dermatologist means there are different levels of doctors. You can go to a small clinic, or you can go to the government hospitals, or you can go to a bigger private hospital. So my affordability, am I able to afford it? You think that service requires that much money? And then the price of the service, how much the doctor will charge you, the professional fee that you are going to pay for the doctor, and then your income. Based on that, you have the choice and you have the preference. Alright, it's not only for goods as well as services. It happens, or it applies itself. This problem of choice applies itself to the services as well. So even a consumer, like even if you are getting a service, then also you are called a what? Consumer. Okay, so a doctor provides service means the patient is a consumer, he uses the treatment. Okay, so that even comes under consumer. Clear? But in general, we mean consumer means, in a broader concept, we mean consumer means for goods and services. We will be seeing all the examples and problems and all the related theories in the point of view of goods and services. Clear? So what are we going going to do that? We are going to discuss two different approaches that explain the consumer behavior. One is called as a cardinal utility analysis and ordinal utility analysis. Okay. So far what did we discuss? We have discussed about the theory of consumer behavior. Now consumer is a person who uses the end product. Okay. And it is all about my choices and preferences. I should choose. The consumer should choose what he or she is going to buy. Okay, with the income that he or she has earned. Right? In economics, we call it as a problem of choice. You know, at times when your mothers go to departmental stores and when you accompany them, when you go with them, you will be just seeing that should I buy this or that. Even in every product, they will have a confusion whether to buy this or that. On what basis they have these confusions? They have their likes and preferences. On what basis you get these likes and preferences? Affordability, the price of goods, and the income of the consumer. Based on this only, they will be deciding what to buy and in what quantities to buy. These are called as likes and preferences. And how are we going to study this theory of consumer behavior? Using two approaches, we are going to discuss in detail about the cardinal utility analysis and ordinal utility analysis. Cardinal, have you heard of this word anywhere else? Cardinal numbers, right? So we are going to discuss cardinal utility analysis today. Cardinal means it is expressed in terms of numbers. Okay, the demand, the supply, everything is given in terms of numbers. But before that, we should know what is utility. And of course, you have to observe or you have to understand the notations and assumptions. In maths, you would have seen like A is equal to or N, X, like that we substitute some values, right? Likewise, in economics also, we are going to substitute some values and understand the theory. Okay, so what are going to be the preliminary notations and assumptions that we are going to discuss. Okay, what we are going to keep as? We are going to substitute as X and Y. Okay, we are going to substitute as X and Y or X1 and X2 or P and Q. We are going to use all the letters in terms of notations and assumptions. Assumptions mean what? Assuming. You are going to think. அதுக்கு பதிலா நான் இதை எடுத்துக்கிறேன். நான் இங்கெல்லாம் வந்து when I am going to say my name, instead of my name I use a pronoun. Right? Same way only here also we are going to substitute something else. Okay? So what is the notation that we are going to discuss here for analyzing the consumer behavior? That is one consumer. We are going to take only the individual consumer. So we are going to discuss only about two products. I am going to go with the example that has been given in your book for your better understanding, because with that example only the entire thing continues. But still we can have different examples also. It is not that we have to stick with the same examples. You can go with different examples also, but still why am I going with the same example? I want you to understand it clearly. Okay, after you watch the video, while you are watching the video even, I want you to take your book and see whether it matches, whether you are able to understand, note down the important points and all those things, so that it is good for your future reference. Okay children, so please go through your book after watching this video. Make sure that you have understood all the points. If not, feel free to contact me, meet me and ask your doubts, clarify your doubts in the initial stage. Please don't keep it for a long time. Okay? Ask in the initial stages still. Okay, so what are the things that we are going to take? We are going to have bananas and mangoes. Okay? Since they are fruits, they are a common family. We have X1 and X2. Okay, so if I am going to intake 5 bananas, we are going to call it as So your formula, this is called a bundle. What is it called? This is called a bundle. We are going to refer to as a bundle. That is a group of both bananas and mangoes. When you have a basket, when you give gifts and all, you have baskets, right? In that you have bananas as well as mangoes, and different bundles are going to be there. Okay? We are going to have different bundles. This is variable x1, variable x2. So if I am going to have 5 bananas and 4 mangoes, I am going to mention it as 5, 4. If I am having both 3, 3, then I will be mentioning it as 3, 3. Okay? What are the other things that you can substitute here? Instead of bananas and mangoes, what are the other things that you can substitute here? It's just what you are going to buy or what you are going to consume. You can have idli and dosa. Okay? If you are going to eat 3 idlis and 3 dosas, then it will be mentioned as 3, 3. If you are going to eat 2 idlis and 2 dosas, 2, 3. Okay? And then you can substitute with pens. Blue pen and black pen. How you are going to use them. Like this you can have something related with each other as examples. Okay? You can apply them in the things that we are going to learn, and it will correlate. It will be common. Okay? That is what we are going to understand here. So what are the notations that we are going to use? X1 and X2. Same way only, for everything there will be some notations for every problem. Whatever examples you are going to give, you can give with the assumptions and notations. Clear, children? So we are going to proceed with the next topic, which is called as utility. Okay? What is that utility? Why we are studying about utility? Because we are going to talk about cardinal utility analysis and ordinal utility analysis. Only if we know the meaning of utility, we can go further. What is that? We decide the demand for a product. We, in the sense, I mean the consumer. That is, whichever we want more, that is the demand. Okay, and how we are going to use it, how much you are going to use it is the utility. This utility, it differs from one person to another person. Okay? So here utility is also meant as satisfaction that you get from something. Satisfaction. How? I'm very thirsty. Okay? I'm very thirsty. I'm terribly thirsty. I didn't drink water from morning. So what do? I drink 1 glass of water. Still I feel thirsty. I go for the second glass of water. Still I feel thirsty. I go for the third glass of water. And then finally I am quenched. Okay, my thirst is quenched. So the utility is 3 glasses of water. Is it going to be the same every time? No. Just now I had a glass of juice, means I won't go for 3 glasses of water. Half glass of water or 1 glass of water is enough for me. That is utility. Okay, the satisfaction means quenching your thirst, controlling your hunger. At times, if you eat 2 idlis, it will be enough. Sometimes, if you are very hungry, you will go for more than 2. So it differs. How does it differ? On what basis it differs? It differs on the basis of the satisfaction that the consumer gets from it. Okay, with 1 glass of water, what is the satisfaction I have got? Whether I am able to quench my thirst, that depends. Okay, it differs from each consumer to consumer, and for me myself also from time to time. Okay, எல்லா டைமும் ஒரே மாதிரி தான் யூட்டிலிட்டி இருக்குமான்னு கேட்டா இருக்காது. Different individuals will have different things. And what importantly, utility of a commodity is called its want satisfying capacity. What is it? It is all about the want satisfying capacity. Okay? So I like ice cream. We all eat ice cream. creams, and at one point of time I started making my own ice creams. Fine. First time I made kulfi and it is very very tasty. So I am very satisfied after eating it. I am satisfied. The satisfaction level is good. So the product is properly utilized. The utility is good. Second time when I make, there is some problem in the mixture that it was not that tasty. Okay, I wanted it. What did I want? I wanted it to be super tasty. But did it satisfy my taste? No, it did not. Then you don't tell to have the maximum utility. சரியா, ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட்ல இருந்து நமக்கு கிடைக்கிற சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷனை வச்சு தான் அதோட யூட்டிலிட்டியை நம்ம டிட்டர்மைன் பண்ணணும். சரிங்களா? ஸோ நமக்கு என்ன தேவை, வாண்ட், what do we need, what do we want, and is the product satisfying it? Okay, is the product capable of satisfying that much level, that much degree, is called as the utility. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to do two kinds of analysis, cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal is going to deal with numbers, where ordinal is not going to deal with numbers. Sharina, but some more points that you are going to discuss is about utility is that if you are when we said about the glasses of water, it is upon you. The water is same, right? There is no difference in water or the idli that you have taken. It's all the same, every time the same. Where it depends upon you. When I am very thirsty, I needed 3 glasses of water. Okay, when I am not that thirsty, I needed only half glass of water. And when I am very hungry, I went for more than 2 idlis. When I am okay, good, normal, then I wanted only two idlis. So the need for a product, okay, where it depends on, it depends on the desire, the consumer's desire to have it, how much I want to take. Okay, so if the desire for the product is stronger, okay, the desire for the product, then greater will be the utility. Okay, fine. Now I'll give you a very normal example that you can understand. Air, everywhere around us we have air, breeze and everything. But when do we need it more is important. When there is a power cut all through the night, you can't sleep. So the moment the power comes, you feel like wow. Okay, so the utility, your satisfaction will be more compared with all the other times that you have current. It is based on your desire. You wish to have breeze. Okay, you are just praying, oh my God, it is so hot. I just want to feel some breeze. Or if it rains, I will be very happy. Means even a little bit of rain will make you higher the satisfaction. It is not the amount of amount of product you have consumed. Another example is, I was not feeling well. I had a fever, so I was not allowed to drink. I was not allowed to drink any cold drinks, or I was not allowed to eat ice creams, chocolates. Okay, for around 1 month, I was not at all allowed to eat ice creams or chocolates. So after that 1 month, even a small 1 rupee chocolate will make me satisfied. Because what? I have a strong desire. எனக்கு சாக்லேட் சாப்பிடணும் அவ்வளோ ஆசையாக இருக்குது. ஸோ அந்த 1 rupee chocolate, small chocolate கூட என்னை வந்து ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியாக, it will satisfy me more. So what it depends on, stronger the desire for the product. If you have a good desire for the product, you will have a greater utility. Other times you will have chocolates in your home, you will not even feel like eating it. Okay, but what will happen after very long time, if you are able to do it, you will be very very happy. Now we all are roaming with masks everywhere. We are roaming with masks. Earlier, till March, we were not thinking of masks at all. Happily we were going, coming, anywhere we want to go, to meet our friends, to the school, everything. At one point of time, you all would have felt bad for coming to school. You daily school, no holiday, nothing. But now the situation has changed. It's been a long time since you all have come to school, or since a long time since you all met. Friends path, teachers path, school atmosphere and so when you come back to school, you will feel how? You feel very, very happy. Right? To see your friends, to see your teachers, to sit in your classroom, you will feel very, very happy. So it is entirely dependent upon the desire for the product. How much you want to do something, that much will be the utility. That greater will be the utility. So the desire should be strong. Okay, so I did not start with one example, children. I have continued with many examples. Try to figure out your own examples. The basis is that this only. If your desire for the product is strong, then of course the utility also will be higher. If you are not interested in having that product, the utility will not be there. Why is it always like this bitter gourd? Bitter gourd is always bitter. And we don't want to eat it. Why? Why? Because we are not interested in eating bitter gourd. Okay, I am not interested in eating bitter gourd, so whenever I taste bitter gourd, it is horrible for me. But there are people who like bitter gourd, who like the bitter taste. For them, how much ever bitter it is, they will like it more. Right? So it depends from each consumer. It is not constant one. It differs from each and every consumer, and of course it differs from one consumer. Based on the time it differs. Alright, so this is all about utility. Clear, children? And one more thing is that we discussed that it differs. Utility differs from one individual to another. Okay? From one to another. And similarly, it differs. Okay, it differs on what? It differs on the basis of place and time. Basis of place and time. How is it? How does it differ from place and time? Let's see an example. How it differs from place. Morning I am going out in my two-wheeler, so I took goggles, I took sunglasses. I am wearing it. It's very nice. I have travelled all through the road. And while returning in the evening, as it is getting dark, I cannot wear my dark glasses, sunglasses, because the purpose is not served there. There the utility comes down. Morning the utility of sunglasses was very good, high. But when it becomes dark, the utility of sunglasses decreases. Okay? That is based on the time factor. Morning and evening, time factor. Even like winter, summer, it also differs. When you buy a sweater, you wear it in the time of summer or winter? You wear it in winter. Right? Just because it is so nice, I like it a lot, it is very costly, I cannot keep it idle in the bureau. Do you wear your sweaters during summer? No, we don't. So the utility differs on the basis of time also. During summer season, we don't even hang our sweaters out. We just fold it and keep it in a cupboard. Why? Because that time the utility is not at all there. We are not using it. Okay? Then place. How place? When I was living in Chennai, I wanted to have air conditioner because it's very, very hot over there. So I bought air conditioner. Later what happened? I was transferred to Kashmir. I wanted to live in Kashmir and it is naturally cold. Right? So what is the use of air conditioner there? Unless otherwise the air conditioner turns itself into a heater, there is no use for me with the air conditioner. So the utility of the product also depends upon the place. In Chennai, every day I turn on my AC means in Kashmir I need not turn it on every day and every time. When I feel it is hot, I will go for it. Okay? So the utility decreases or increases on the basis of place and time. Right, children? So what Okay, and what is one more important thing? It is the want satisfying capacity. What is your want and how much it satisfies that particular want. And what more is important is that how stronger is your desire for a product, that much the utility will be greater. If you are not interested in a product, of course the utility will be less. It's not that everybody likes chocolates or everybody likes ice cream. Some people are there who hate ice creams. They don't eat ice creams at all. I go with a friend to a parlor, to an ice cream parlor, and I order 3 ice creams. Okay, because I love ice creams. When I ask my friend, what did you like to have? She is telling that no, I don't want to have an ice cream. But still, I am forcing her, come on, have one. Means she will have only one, that too. The smallest quantity of ice cream that she can take, she will take. It's not the mistake of the ice cream. It is my desire to have it and her desire to not have it. Okay, how stronger is the desire for the product, that greater will be the utility. For me, the utility of ice cream is good, whereas for her it is feeble or it is very less. Clear, children? And then it differs from one consumer to another consumer. Just in the example that we saw, the utility for me from ice creams is higher when compared to that of my friend. Okay, she wishes to eat spicy food, pani puri. So she takes me to the pani puri shops. She eats, she keeps on eating pani puris, whereas I can't even finish 5. Okay, so it is not the mistake of pani puri, it is her desire to have it and my desire to not have it. So for each and every product and each and every consumer, the utility differs. Okay, it's not a constant thing and it differs on the basis of place and time also. For the same consumer also, it differs on the basis of place and time. I like ice creams, of course I love ice creams, but do you think I will eat it at the midnight? No, I won't do that. And if I am in a cold place and I am already feeling cold or feverish, I won't go for ice cream. So, based on that only, it changes. Right, children? So, these are the important things that we have understood about utility. What is utility? It is the satisfaction. It is the level of satisfaction a consumer obtains from that particular product. Remember, the product does not keep it. The consumer obtains. நம்ம தான் அதில் இருந்து சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆகணும் தவிர ப்ராடக்ட் எந்த ட்ரையும் பண்ணாது நம்மளை சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ண. நமக்கு பிடிச்சிருக்கிறதுனால நம்ம சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆகும். Clear, children? So it is the want satisfying capacity. It differs from person to person and from place and time, on the basis of place and time. And more importantly, how stronger is your desire, that much utility you will get. Okay? We have already discussed about the preliminary assumptions and notations also, how to mention products, because everywhere you will not be writing. When you are writing the bundle, you can just write 3,3, 2,3, but everywhere you cannot write 2 bananas and 3 mangoes. Okay, that's why we have this preliminary assumptions and notations. Okay, what is the next topic that we are going to discuss today? We are going to discuss about the cardinal utility analysis. Utility we have seen. What is the level of satisfaction that we get from a product is called as your utility. Cardinal utility analysis means what? We study about it, try to analyze and find out the answer. What does it do? What is this cardinal utility analysis? It analyzes, it assumes that the level of utility can be expressed in numbers. Okay, we are going to just what? Assume the level of utility. Okay, and in what terms? In terms of numbers. How much units you get. Okay, how much units of satisfaction you get, how much units of utility we get. Why do we have to refer it in number? because to analyze it, if it is presented in numbers, then it is easy for you to add, subtract, analyze it and come to a conclusion about what is the utility of that particular product. Utility analysis, what is the utility, what is the satisfaction you get from a product is about the utility analysis, and it explains that what is the utility in terms of numbers. Okay, so if I am buying a scooty, what happens? If I buy my favorite company scooty, then I'll say like I have got 100 units of satisfaction. But if I am not buying that my favorite scooty or my favorite color, then the utility comes down. It is 50%, so 50 units. So what is it? The utility, how much you have used it. Okay, how much you are satisfied and how much you have consumed it is called as the terms. Okay, in that number terms only you are going to measure it. In measures of utility, when you are talking about measuring, what you are going to do? You are going to measure it. So in measures of utility, you have two things. One is called as the total utility and another one is called the marginal utility. First we will discuss what is total utility. The total satisfaction derived by a consumer from one product. Okay, if you take one commodity, from that what is the total satisfaction you have got. For example, from the commodity X, I have received 20 units of satisfaction. Totally, I have got this 20 units means I am saying that the total utility is 20 units. And how many parts I have consumed? Like 5 bananas if we say, I will say like yes, X5. Totally 5 quantities, 5 numbers of bananas I have consumed and I have got 20 units. After eating 5 bananas, I have got 20 units of utility from all the 5 bananas together is called as your total utility of the product. That is the total satisfaction that you have got from consuming one particular product, commodity X. How many ever units you want, how much ever you want to consume. And how it is referred? It is referred as total utility N. Okay? Here N is what? N is the number of units. Here we say X5, right? How do you have to represent it? Total utility of this 5 units. Okay? That is number of units. Okay? Total utility of 5 bananas will become 20 units. So here X is the commodity and N is the number of units consumed. Number of units of commodity consumed for the particular products. Okay? It talks about the quantity. And on what it depends? The TU depends on the quantity of the commodity consumed. How much you have consumed, based on that your total utility differs. Because if you have taken one more banana, then the total utility will increase. Okay? So it depends upon the quantity of the commodity you have consumed. What depends? The total utility depends. So if you have reduced, you did not eat 5, you have eaten only 4 means, then the total utility changes. On what basis it's going to change? It's going to be called as marginal utility. Okay? Just how total utility is mentioned as TU, marginal utility is mentioned as MU. Okay, total utility, TU stands for total utility, whereas marginal utility means MU. How are you going to ascertain this? Now I have said that there by consuming 5 bananas I have got 20 units. So I have eaten 5 bananas. So what I have got? 20 units of satisfaction. When I am consuming the extra banana, when I consume 6 bananas, my total utility changes to 24. What is this for? That is the marginal utility that I get. Okay, the difference is there, right, between these two. That is 4. That is the marginal utility of which banana? 6th banana. Of the 6th banana. Why? Because that is the change they have got. It might be in plus or it might be in minus also, but that is the change that I have got. So we call it the marginal utility of that one product, of the 6th banana. What is the marginal utility of the 6th banana? 4 units. Clear? Like that you have to find the total utility as well as the marginal utility. Clear? How do you find the marginal utility? Now if you want to represent it in the method means marginal utility of 6 is equal to total utility of what? We have taken the 6 bananas, right? Total utility of 6 bananas minus total utility of 5 bananas. When you use it in the formula, 24 minus 20, you get 4. So that is the marginal utility of the 6th banana. This is how you find out the marginal utility. How do you find it? By taking up the total utility and minusing it by one term. Okay, the right formula to mention it is, if you want, marginal utility of n. We will keep it as marginal utility of n. Then you have to total utility of n minus total utility of n minus 1. We will represent some other values and see. Okay. So TU is what? Total utility, whereas MU is marginal utility. This n stands for the quantity of the commodity consumed. So if I am going to find the marginal utility of marginal utility of 5th banana I want to find. Okay, the total utility of which the same n you have to take 5 minus total utility of n minus 1. What is it? N minus 1. What is the n here for you? 5. 5 minus 1? 4. And we have already discussed that 20 units is the total utility. So 20 minus, for example, if the given data says that total utility of the 4th banana till 4th banana is 18, then marginal utility of 5th banana is 2, whereas already we have calculated marginal utility is 4. Okay, so this is the base formula for finding the marginal utility of a product. Okay, total utility means it calculates the entire satisfaction that you have got by consuming a product. Okay, in any number of quantity. But when you talk about marginal utility, it talks about the difference that you get in the level of satisfaction. It can be more or it can be less. Okay, just how we discussed in the thing about glasses of water. When I am drinking my first glass of water, I'm still thirsty. Okay, I want to drink more. Second glass, okay, fine, I can take it slowly. How you will drink water? First glass when you drinking, you will be drinking very fast. Second glass when you are drinking, it will be okay. Third glass, you will slow it down more. That changes. The need, the satisfaction changes. Your want changes. This is how you calculate the MUN, which is the marginal utility of one particular number. Whereas, how do you calculate the total utility? You have the marginal utility of various things. Now you need the total utility. How do you calculate it? TUN is equal MU1 plus MU2 plus it goes on till what? MUN minus 1 plus MUN till whichever quantity it goes. If you are talking about 16 also you can apply. If you are going to talk about 30 also you can apply this formula. If you are going to talk about 45 also you are going to apply this formula. That is marginal utility of each number is there, right? Each quantity, each addition is there, right? That you have to take it into account. If you total everything, you will get the total utility of that particular commodity. What is the total utility? Your total satisfaction level. Okay, this is the total satisfaction level you obtain from one particular unit. Now, cardinal utility analysis, basically it is done with the help of a table and a graph. Because when you analyze it, you need to put it in the proper format. Right? So that it will be easy for you to understand or look into it or even present it. How do you do it? We are going to have a table that consists of the marginal utility and total utility that you derive from a commodity. Okay? And then we will be drawing a graph also. You have units, you have total utility, then you have the marginal utility. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll start with 6. How is it going to be when you are consuming first glass of lemonade? Okay, you are drinking lemonade. First glass of lemonade, you are getting marginal utility 12. That itself is the total utility. Second glass, you feel like okay, it is nice. Okay, so you feel only 6 units of marginal utility. So you add 12 plus 6, it becomes 18. When you are drinking the third glass, again decreases to 4. So 18 plus 4 becomes 22. When you drink the next glass, it will again decrease 2. So it becomes 20. Now you are not gaining anything. Next time it's like very normal. You can even go to stop. So there is no change in the total utility. And then finally it has gone down. Thereafter, sometimes it happens, right? We say like when we are repeatedly eating the same food for many days, we say like hereafter I will never ever taste this food. I don't like it. I am bored of eating it. We'll say right, that word we'll say, I am bored of eating it. So what happens? It decreases. Usually when you eat food with ghee, lot of ghee, when ghee is added, after a certain limit you feel like you don't want to eat more. Okay, you want to stop it. So what happens? The utility gets down. So when minus 2 means what happens? It comes to 18. I'm really sorry. 24, 22. Alright, so what happens? The marginal utility need not be only in addition, only increasing status it's not going to be there. It might decrease also. Okay, so it might also decrease. Understood? So if the marginal utility is 12 in the first unit, when you are consuming the first unit, the total utility also will be same. Why? Because of the addition thing. Okay, second time the marginal utility is 6. So you want to calculate TU2. Okay, what you are calculating? TU2. What is the formula? MU1 plus MU2. That is 12 plus 6. You get 18. When you want to calculate total utility of 3, you have to add all 3. MU1 plus MU2 plus MU3. So 12 plus 6 plus 4. 12 plus 6 plus 4. Which is what? 22. Similarly, it will go. Okay, this is how you calculate your total utility and the marginal utility of one commodity. Now we are going to represent the same in the graph. Okay. You have a very neat graph picture image in your book. You can kindly look into it. Okay. It might not be a perfect graph of what I am drawing. It's just I am trying to explain you in terms. Okay. So in the x-axis, horizontal line and vertical line. That's how I'm going to say. So here we have the quantity. And here I have the utility. Okay, here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have 6 units. Okay, and here if you see the numbers, it's from 12 to 22. So 12 to 24 it is given. So you can also mark in 2's. Okay. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 and it goes. Okay. As they are given in your book, we mark in terms of 5 because that is enough for you to see it. So we have from minus 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm very sorry children, I'm not measuring each unit and drawing it. I'm just making a rough diagram. So kindly use scale, pencil, everything and use it. Okay. Now we are going to see the marginal utility of each and everything. Marginal utility as well as the total utility. In your book they have given 2 different lines. The line in blue is your total utility, whereas the dotted line in black is the marginal utility. Okay, I also try to do like that. They have also have grids. Okay, that's square check boxes. Those are called grids for better understanding, but I am not going to use grids. I am just going to mark it roughly. Okay. So now when you take 1, what is the utility? First unit utility 12. So 12 we say comes somewhere here. We will first mark the points. Okay, comes here. Both are 12. Okay. Second unit, the marginal utility is 6 and the total utility is 18. It is here. Okay. Can you identify? 6. Okay. When you take the third unit, the marginal utility is 4. So 4 is here, down. Whereas the total utility is 22 and it is here. Okay. Then when we talk about the unit 4, total utility is 24, whereas marginal utility is 2. So 2 is down here. Okay. And marginal utility is 24, so it is somewhere at top. Done. When you consume the 50 unit, what happened? Here it is in 24, here it becomes 0. So 24 is here and 0 is here. Okay. And when you are going for the 60 unit, what happened? Minus 2 and 22. Minus 2 means what? Minus 5 is here, right? So the point is down here. Dot has come down. Whereas again it has come down here, 22. This is how your curve goes. It starts, total utility was rising and it came again to falling position. Whereas here it was from the beginning falling. It is not required that it should be in the same way. At times the utility increases also, but most of the time it is seen that the utility decreases. How? In your glass of eating, when you are eating your first spoon of rice, you will feel like wow, it's so tasty. second spoon, third spoon. So what happens? You will start not appreciating the taste of the food, but just to finish it. At one point of time, you'll be like, oh my god, I'm full. I don't want to eat anything more. So what happens? It stops. The utility comes to an end. And this is called the law of diminishing marginal utility. What is it called as? Law of diminishing. Diminishing means what, children? Coming down. Decreasing. Here your marginal utility is decreasing, right? That is why we call it as diminishing marginal utility. Okay, it is called as law of diminishing marginal utility. It states what? It says that by consuming each marginal utility, by consuming each commodity, by consuming one more unit, the marginal utility, what happens? It diminishes, it comes down. As you increase the consumption, as you increase the number of products you intake, the need for it, the utility of it comes down. Okay, so it says that consuming each additional unit of a commodity declines. Okay, the need, the utility declines, comes down as the commodity increases, as the consumption increases. Okay, this is what happens. So MU becomes 0 at a level. When did it become 0? When did it become 0? When the total utility was constant. What is constant? It didn't change here. Right? From 4th unit also 24 only. From 5th unit also 24 only. So here only it is constant. When the total utility is constant, the marginal utility is 0. Okay? The marginal utility is 0. That means the interest or the utility has stopped. It has started to diminish. Okay? Thereafter TU starts falling. After that what happens? That is it. After that the TU also, the total utility also starts falling. Once it has become constant, next step what happens? It starts to fall. It starts to fall, and what happened to marginal utility? It got into minus. It got to decrease and it went in negative forms. Okay? The next topic is derivation of demand curve, but I don't want you to get confused. I want you to go in detail about the marginal utility analysis. There is only one small point that we have to discuss, that is the law of diminishing marginal utility, that we will discuss in the next class. In this class, we have discussed about the theory of consumer behavior. We have discussed about utility. What is meant by utility? The want satisfying capacity is called the utility. It differs from consumer to consumer, and what more is important? In the same consumer event, it differs based on place and time. There are two important approaches to study this, to study consumer behavior. What is it? One is called as the cardinal utility analysis, and another one is called the ordinal utility analysis. Cardinal utility analysis means it expresses everything in terms of numbers. It expresses the level of utility and satisfaction in terms of numbers. In that, how do you measure? How do you measure utility here? You measure using the total utility and marginal utility. Total utility means what is the total satisfaction, amount of satisfaction that you have got from a product, from a commodity. Whereas marginal utility means as it increases, as each unit, what is the utility you have obtained from each unit of that particular commodity. Clear? Based on that, we have studied how to represent it in a table, how to calculate total utility, how to calculate marginal utility of one unit, and then we have represented it in a table, and then we have seen a graph. Now there is a curve here that is falling, and this has led us to know about law of diminishing marginal utility. What does it mean? That as the consumption increases, the utility decreases, it diminishes, and at one point the total utility becomes constant. If the total utility is constant, the marginal utility is 0, and later on when the total utility has reached to the constant level, After that, the total utility also declines, as well as the marginal utility becomes negative. That is, you are not interested to consume more of it. You are not satisfied with that. Clear? The next topic that we will be discussing is law of diminishing marginal utility. But before that, I want you to please go through the topics that we have discussed today. Read the text, try to understand it. If not, of course, you feel free to talk to me, meet me, and get your doubts clarified. But this is the basis. Kindly understand it. Okay, children. Thank you, and may all have a wonderful day.